Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Korean Atlanta Mentorship. And in this video, we're just going to do a reaction to TikTok to somebody named Charlie Ellers. And it's about money and it's about lending people money. And before I even play this video, I already know what's going to happen. Somebody lent money to somebody else who needed it. And what's the number one rule, folks? Banks don't lend money to people who need it, and they have the tallest buildings in the world. So if the big institution like a bank can't lend money to people who need it, what makes you think that you as a friend, as an individual, as a member of society, a small unit of society as an individual, what makes you think you can lend money to people who need it? Okay, so let's go ahead and see what's up and start play.
Never lend people money, never borrow money from other people. If you do lend people money, expect to never see it again. A friend of
No, 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 no. No, that's actually not true. It's don't lend money to people who need it. And if you lend money to people who need it, which is the most important part, never expect to see it again. It's not just lending money because folks, if lending money and not seeing it again were hand in hand like a 1-to-1 ratio, banks couldn't even exist. Again, it's about lending money to people who need it or don't need it, right? Okay.
of mine recently had one of his mates ask to borrow $1,000 off him. And he's like, yeah, that's all good, man. Just like make sure you pay it back. Really think about where it's going to go from there. Is there a deadline? Is there a contract? They're not a bank. So where does it go wrong? Things start to go wrong when the friend who borrowed the money just assumes that they can keep pushing it back to the point where the friend who lent the money will then be saying, well, hey man, like, are you going to pay me back that $1,000? And it'll just become awkward and weird and bitter. It's a recipe for disaster. Never lend people money, especially if it's money that you need and that you expect back.
No, 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 no. It's not about whether you need the money or not as the lender. It's about whether the borrower needs the money. Okay. It's whether about the borrower. So if I needed the money, but I lent it to someone who didn't need it, they're going to pay me back. The banks know that, right? That's why banks are smart. Like, duh, tallest buildings in the world, right? So,
If you lend someone money, it's gone to the abyss. You've given it to them. If they come back and they say, hey, like, thanks for letting me borrow the money. I'll reimburse you. Well, that's a bonus. That's a bonus that you get. But in my eyes, it's not worth the risk.
it's only worth it if you know that the person you're lending money to doesn't need it. See how that works? So I feel like again, we kind of have to look at the banks as a model of how to do stuff because if they have the tallest buildings in the world, what are you doing that I'm doing wrong? You see, the average person doesn't do something called underwriting, right? When you lend money, like, oh, you need $1,000. Sure, I'll lend you $1,000 because you need it. And then the bank is like, ooh, we got to look at this person. Does this person need money? Ooh, this person does need money. No, thanks. That's really underwriting 101, right? Okay. And then usually if you want to get like a home equity line of credit, they're gonna do a financial anal probe. And that's not that's what you want when you want that home equity, sweet home equity line of credit, kind of like this one right here, 280,000, because you have to show them, hey, I don't need the money. I don't need the money. I'm actually talking to a nurse and she's applying for home equity line of credit, and I think she's learned from me well because she was like, shouldn't I include my other savings accounts in the application? I'm like, why? I want to show them I don't need money. I'm like, I am so proud of you. I have a tear in my eye. I have a tear in my eye. But moral of the story is don't lend money to people who need it. And if you do, you're going to see a lot of TikToks like this. And there's probably a million of them out there about lending people money. And folks, learn from the banks. Moral of the story, am I right? Okay, well, that's it for this reaction. So have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. This is Korean Atlanta Mentorship.